Hello everybody, I'm Symes, and with me as usual is Robin.
Hello there, I'm Robin.
And
that was Symes.
Yes, it was and still is. And welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. And
Space.
We launched a moon mining operation last time, which was fairly successful. Not as much has happened this time, partly because KSP has updated to 0.25. And
Updates, hurrah!
And I've had to wait for all my mods to update, and there's an increasing number of those. And just because I haven't had the time,
as long as the blinky lights are working, we're good as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yes, no, the blinky lights are definitely working. I made sure of that. That was one of the first ones that updated, which I was very pleased about. So you need the Christmas tree space station lights.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a quick look at the new building in 0.25, which is the administration building, which you can kind of see on the far left of the space centre there. It's been just glued onto the side. The small one with the round top.
Is that what, bottom left?
Yeah, with the sort of pool outside it.
It's got a swimming pool. That's excellent.
For the admin staff.
This is what the astronauts have really waited for.
They work quite hard, so they like to go for a bit of a swim now and again. And it's got a nice view of the vehicle assembly building and stuff, so that's quite nice.
And the runway and everything. Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, we will take a look at that.
Okay.
And here it is. And you've got your four administrative people, Mortimer, Linus, Walt and Gus, who handle...
They look quite stunned by their...
who handle various different things, and Mortimer's finances, Linus is science, Walt is PR, which is why he's wearing a hazmat suit. And Gus is operations. And
that's good. You need I like the idea of a hazmat suit for PR. That's good.
And basically, the first three of them are about converting the other two types of sort of resources you have into their type. So Mortimer is about converting stuff into funds.
All right.
So the first thing
all about conversion.
Yeah, the first thing there takes 5% of your reputation and turns it into funds, and it has a reputation cost to set up. Yeah. And there's a slider at the bottom for each of them where you can choose how committed you are to that particular license, and that changes the numbers. Okay. And the second thing he does is convert science gains into funds instead, and that obviously costs some science to set up. Yeah. And Linus is more or less the same, and I've kind of worked through these fairly slowly. But yeah, so we'll see when we come to Linus. The other thing to note about this is some of them are greyed out, which are ones we can't actually afford to start. Okay. So yeah, Linus, the first thing there turns...
We have bucket loads of cash though, don't we?
We've got a lot of cash, but the thing is, the second one under Mortimer costs science to start, and we don't have bucket loads of science.
Oh, so the fiends!
But we don't need that anyway. This one turns reputation into science points, which costs rep to set up. And the second one, outsourced R&D, turns funds into science points. Which I will click on.
So it's all about conversion.
Fairly shortly. Most of them are about conversion. Gus's stuff is about saving money on launch parts or recovering more money from getting them back at the end of a flight.
Okay. Should anything actually randomly explode?
So you land your ship, and what Gus's stuff is about is making the recovered ship more valuable. But it costs more per part, because it's the second one. It's recovery transponders, so the parts become more expensive to launch with.
But you get more cash back.
But you get more cash back when you recover them. Okay. And there's Walt, and you get an appreciation campaign which takes funds income and yields reputation.
That's good. More contracts.
Yeah, I really should have clicked through these more quickly.
It's all right.
I do like Walt though, with his hazmat suit.
Yeah, I just like the hazmat suit, frankly.
He's got stubble as well. It's quite clear he never takes that suit off.
He lives in that suit. And he is the suit.
Yep. An open source tech program takes 5% of your science gains at a commitment of 5% and yields reputation. And we can't afford that because it has a setup cost of 195 science.
That's quite a lot.
And and so and this is Gus's thing. And you have aggressive negotiations, which gives you a fund reduction on launch costs and purchases in R&D, but for each discount that you use, you spend reputation.
Okay.
And that seems like something that would be quite expensive in reputation.
Yeah.
Especially given the sort of the cost of the things we're throwing up into space.
Yeah.
So and I'll click on recovery transponders in a minute. Yeah.
There we go. You did. So it's like you're psychic.
So the first one is 9.8% funds to launch costs and 5.5% to vessel recovery factor. And at that level, that seems to me like it wouldn't be worth investing in.
No.
But
assuming it gets better.
But I dragged the slider up just to demonstrate that the first number goes down and the second one actually goes up.
Yeah.
So at the maximum, it's 6% extra to launch costs and plus 15% to recovery factor.
Okay.
Costs 120,000 funds to set it up. And the thing about our program is that most of the stuff we're launching now isn't designed to come back down. So that wouldn't be a very...
send it up in space. When's it coming down?
Never, probably.
Yeah. It's launched. You want more?
Come on.
You're a crazy person. Yeah.
So that strategy isn't very useful to us, but we always want more science, so I'm going to turn on some science-based strategies here. So I'm choosing a commitment level for us, for the reputation one.
Commitment level, that sounds quite,
you can see the cost goes up, but the amount of science you get for each point of reputation also goes up. So it becomes more efficient the more you throw into it. But the cost goes up. So I think I wind up being fairly conservative here. Something like that. I think I go with 20% in the end. I only filmed this the other day. You'd think I would have remembered. Yep, 20%. I'm about to click on accept. So it costs 400 reputation to set up. So you'll see the bar at the top go from blue down to green. That's our rep drops. But now we've got an active strategy at the bottom. And just to throw in on top of that, I also do the one that converts funds into science.
More stuff. That's all good.
More science. And I probably did 20% on this one as well. I'm not sure actually. Well, maybe not. I don't remember.
No? Who knows?
Apparently it's 10%. Fair enough, whatever. But that has a small cost in funds to set up, and then that'll be active as well.
Okay.
So now we've got, anytime we earn money or reputation, some of it will be converted into science points, which kind of lets you tailor which contracts you want to do. So you maybe don't want to do parts tests all the time because they can get a bit boring. But now you can just do ones where you want to rescue astronauts a lot, but still earn science for doing it, and you can.
And we do have our convenient science pod station.
We do have that up there as well.
Yeah.
But also you can get science just for stabbing a flag into the moon, which is very handy.
That moon really needs some flags.
So we'll be able to do that quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll close that off, and here we are in the contracts. And oh look, we've got a contract to plant a flag on the surface of the moon.
Stab the moon.
And you can see in brackets on the rewards there the adjustments that get made because of the policies we've got in place. So this would normally not give us any science at all, but it's actually going to give us like nearly 300 in total because of the changes from the policy. So here we are at the moon with our moon
mining thing.
The prospector. He just jumps off and lands on his face.
Yeah,
he's fine. Plant flag.
He's having a ball, and that's done. And
I call it.
It's really good.
Flag.
These guys.
More flags, more money.
Yeah, a really good job. But they don't need oxygen, really.
Yep. So now we check, and there's the rewards that we get, and you can see we get 246 science for completion.
All breaking down.
Yep.
Breaking down. Broken down.
And so there's the cost in the reduction in reputation, the reduction in funds that we got, and the increase in science that we got. So
okay, cool.
That's all cool. And he misses the spaceship altogether, and then flies up the ladder and gets back. And that's that done. So now we can use the science we just got from doing a non-science contract to buy some more R&D stuff.
Okay.
So I kind of look around in here a bit and look at electronics and specialised electrics and stuff, but that's too expensive anyway. So I decided to buy some rover stuff. So I've got some rover wheels. So
squeaky, squeaky, squeaky.
Yep, we won't be using them this week, but they will come in handy fairly soon. Your rover wheels. So that's that bought.
Yep.
And now here's a rocket.
Fantastic. And what's this rocket for?
It's we're launching another space station. We're going to put it in orbit around the moon.
Ah, we have a moon station.
We have a moon station. It's
I like it. The fact we got like 4 little itty bitty rockets.
Yes. Well, it's a station core, and it needs to be moved to the moon. So there's a tug underneath it.
Okay.
And that's what those, because it's got 4 of those large nuclear engines on, because they're very efficient.
So what you're saying is, at the bottom there, we've got a
However,
big rocket, and it's surrounded by more rockets. Above that are some rockets, wobbling rather dangerously on top
happening.
of that.
Oh no!
Oh no!
This cannot possibly end well.
Timber! I'm sensing a boom. An earth-shattering kaboom.
Wait, no.
Why is it not exploding?
Maybe it's fine.
The physics are amusing. Quick, launch it when it gets to the top again.
Is it going to be fine? No, it's not going to go all the way back up.
No. I think...
It's going back down again.
Yeah, so that's not looking good.
No, there's a minor issue with the construction of this particular vessel.
The torque on that is not good, or whatever you want to call it.
The struts that I'm using to hold it together seem to be a bit stretchy.
Yeah.
And elasticated. So it's probably going to need to go back into the vehicle assembly building for a bit of tweaking. Yes. So
yeah, a bit more stability maybe, or a little less boinging.
Needs some adjustment, because it's not going to get off the pad like that. Let's be honest. But it might get off the pad very, very briefly.
Go off somewhere.
So anyway, this one has been reinforced a bit, and has had a slight adjustment.
There is
considerably
at the top as well. More struts there.
A lot more struts. Struts around the tug. More struts holding the payload to the lifter underneath. And also, I've replaced the upper fuel tank in the station with an orbital logistics facility.
Excellent.
From the modular colonization systems mod, which is what we will be using to build our moon base with. And that just is about moving fuel around inside the sphere of influence of a particular body without having to physically drive the spaceship yourself. So it's just a time saver really, and therefore it's a bit more expensive on fuel.
Okay.
But it's handy.
That's not good though, expensive fuel.
Yeah, but we've got free fuel now.
Oh, yeah, on the moon.
On the moon, which is where the station is going.
I suppose, yeah. So we'll be able to basically fire something up to the space station, refuel it, and then land it again.
Well, I mean, what we can do with this logistics facility is, as long as this is in the same sphere of influence, so it's orbiting a body, it can send or take fuel from any other installation or craft orbiting that same body.
That is handy.
So it takes time. It doesn't happen immediately, but you just do it, and it says this will take you like 6 hours, and then you wait 6 hours, and then the fuel has magically been transferred. Less a cost of transferring it, because it's got. I will zoom in a bit better later on, but it's got lots of just tiny little drones. It's got 4 tiny little drones on it.
It's definitely zooming up very good.
But we're launching now, and above 2K I kick in the nuclear engines as well, because below 2000 they're actually less efficient than the stupidly inefficient booster I'm launching with. But they get progressively more efficient as you go into the thinner atmosphere, so above 2000 meters they're about the same. And so I turn them on to get extra thrust.
Okay.
And we're thrust, because every single engine on this ship is now on. So, and all the solid fuel boosters.
We are zooming up. That is impressive. That's rocketing. Well, it's obviously rocketing being a rocket.
Kick the boosters off.
They're gone.
And then
tilt. There's a bit of wobble there.
It's a little bit wobbly. It's
those 4 rockets out on struts. I'm a bit worried about, really.
Yeah, I added extra struts to them.
Yeah. At least the top bit isn't wobbling around like it's doing some kind of funky dance.
There were some much less hilarious failures of this craft before I managed to get to launch. So I added more struts to the tug, because the thrust from those outrigger engines was actually causing it to twist, and therefore the rocket started spinning, and that wasn't good.
No.
So it's reasonably stable now. Not completely stable, but reasonably so. And we just sort of burn into the sky. Woo!
Whee!
And then turn the engine off. Do a circularization. The routine is very familiar by now. I haven't really. No, I quite like this 3/4 angle that I launched at this time. I've never done it before.
That's a nice view, actually, over Kerbal. It still looks freaking weird, though. It looks like a 70s spaceship with those extra boosters flanged out. It just doesn't look safe.
So we've ditched the lifter stage because it's out of fuel now.
Yep.
We're just finishing the circularization on the nuclear engines. But the other reason it's like this, the tug, is that it's actually got docking ports on both ends. So it's designed to be reusable. So yes, I launched it with this space station, but should we want to tow another space station, like out to Minmus, then we can just bring this tug back to Earth and just launch the station core and tow it with the tug.
Okay.
That's the theory. And it's not a
It's all fine in theory.
Yes, it's a somewhat elliptical orbit in the end, because of the thrust of the nuclear engines wasn't quite enough to circularize it properly in the time available. So
circularize, it's a good word.
So I burned until we were definitely out of the atmosphere for the entire orbit and stopped. But now we're low on fuel, but we can use this colony logistics thing to transfer fuel to this ship from the other space station in orbit around Kerbin, which is Candle Station Alpha, of course.
Camel.
And then we can use that to take it to the moon.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing right here. Eventually.
A few minor adjustments.
So yeah, so you just look at the fuel we've got in as well. And I'm still learning about how this works, so I did make a slight mistake here, but it winds up being fine. So I want like
nothing explodes.
Yeah, I wanted to add 2,000 units of liquid fuel and 2,200 units of oxidizer. But I don't know if you can see down below is the cost in fuel of this fuel transfer from Candle Station Alpha, which is nearly 4,000 oxidizer.
To transfer fuel.
Yeah, well, there's got to be a ship that does it.
Oh, true, yeah.
So yeah, you've got to pay the cost of transferring the fuel. It's just a convenience thing that you don't have to do it yourself, but it's a huge cost in liquid fuel and oxidizer, and it takes it from this ship. So this ship now has no fuel.
That's probably not so good.
And I was hoping to add that fuel to what was in this ship. So that was a mistake on my part. So I whiz round, you'd see the timer ticking down in the little box there to when the refueling will occur. And now we've got the fuel.
Hooray!
And I have a look at it, and we've got like a total of 1.74 kilometers per second of delta V, which is enough to get out to the moon and get in orbit. So, despite making a mistake, it's actually fine.
Yeah.
And then I spend far too much bloody time arranging this transfer to the moon.
Over the place.
Finally, get one that I'm happy with, and then spin her around and get ready to kick the engines in. Whee!
Excellent.
The other thing that's happened in 0.25, which I really like, is they've updated the nav ball.
So what's the change then?
Well, for one thing, when you've got a manoeuvre node set and the manoeuvre node indicator is not on a nav ball, there's an arrow that points to where it is. So you don't have to just wander around the nav ball trying to find it, spinning your ship madly around. Because you just go to the arrow, which is great.
Okay.
And they've added the all of the orbital direction markers as well, because previously it had prograde and retrograde on it, and now it's got
sounds confusing.
Well, prograde is in the direction of the orbit, and retrograde is against the direction of the orbit.
Okay.
So you go prograde to make the orbit bigger and retrograde to make it smaller.
Okay.
But now it's added normal and anti-normal, which is
anti-normal.
Yep.
This isn't normal, it's anti-normal.
It's the opposite of normal.
Yeah. This makes perfect sense to me.
By Kerbin. And radial.
It still looks weird with those strutted little boosters.
Yeah, it's a functional craft. It's not designed to be elegant.
Yeah.
I mean, it was less functional before. It's just more ugly now. Now that it functions better. That's how it goes.
Fair enough.
So, and here's the moon. It's quite dark. You can't really see it, but it is there. There it is, hanging black against the stars. And now we're in the moon's sphere of influence, so it's time to arrange a capture rather than a fly straight past. And you can see the blue arrow on the nav ball there. So useful. Just spin the ship straight round. This is obviously ridiculously sped up. God, it took bloody ages to rotate a ship this size.
Yeah.
And now decelerating to be captured by the moon.
I can see the moon.
It's right there. Another quite nice 3/4 angle there, I think.
Yep.
Just tweak the orbit, get it down to 50 kilometers or so on that end. And it's inclined as well, so I want to fix that. I want this to, for a space station, I think you want to have it as close to equatorial as possible, just so it's easy to rendezvous with for everybody else.
Yeah.
So this is make that adjustment, point the ship anti-normal as it happens, and burn in that direction to sort the orbit out. And we started 12 degrees inclined, and we wind up at around 2 degrees, which is, actually not too bad. I've given up on my perfectionist tendencies regarding getting orbits exactly to 0 degrees, because life
takes far too long.
Is just too short.
Yeah.
So anyway, there we are, and rotate the ship to point normal again, or up, as it's also known. And now I can do a colony transfer from stuff that's on the moon.
Cool.
Like the Prospector, for example, which is full of fuel.
Yeah. Excellent.
And you will notice that the cost in oxidizer and liquid fuel is rather a lot less. Partly because the mass of stuff that we're transporting is less, but also because I think it's because it's from something on the surface rather than something that's orbiting, but in a different orbit. Because it's much less hassle to just, I think, launch from the surface and rendezvous rather than adjust your orbit to rendezvous something. I might be wrong. I might be talking nonsense. Anyway, so we set that up. And then we go to the Prospector, and the Prospector's empty now because the fuel's been transferred from it. So now we can turn on the drill again.
Okay.
Minorly confused at this point, but turn on the LFO converter, check the fuel tanks, numbers wobbling around. I get slightly confused there, and then I remember to check the other fuel tanks.
And suddenly it all becomes clear again.
Hang on. Where's this? Let's check this fuel tank. There we go. It's filling with fuel. Marvellous.
Yep. I mean, can it just sit there forever and just drill the same point, or will we have to move it?
No, it can sit there forever because the carbonite thing works on concentrations rather than deposits. So,
right, and the concentrations won't be adjusted.
Yeah, it doesn't get adjusted, so you can sit there on the same thing forever.
Okay.
And that was a deliberate design decision by the person that made it. The other main sort of refueling mod you can get is called Kethane, and that actually works on deposits which you can deplete.
Alright.
But it just changes the nature of the problems that you have to deal with. It doesn't necessarily make it easier or harder.
Yeah.
It's like you either deal with setting up a permanent installation around the best deposit you can find, or you deal with setting up an installation that you can move when you need to. And so I filled that up again, and so, turn the lights on.
The lights, the all-important lights.
The station's in place now, so now it needs to be given its proper name. Camel Station Beta.
More camels. It's
More
all
camels.
good.
Yep.
All about the camels.
Lovely. Looks a bit weird with the tug still attached, but...
Yeah, it does look a bit weird.
Let's have a look at that. It's going to get fueled up in a day and 50 minutes time.
That's quite a while.
Yep. But yeah, again, that's the kind of price that you pay. You might have been able to do it quicker launching from the surface yourself, but you'd have to have had a tanker there in the first place. So just bring the station round until it's beautifully in the sunshine. And that's mission complete.
Hurrah!
So, do you have any questions at this stage?
Can we actually eject those little boosters off the end?
Yeah. The tug is attached to the docking port that's on the bottom of the station.
Yeah.
So we can,
because it does look ugly.
We can undock it and fly it away.
Yeah. Fire it into space.
It's not a permanent attachment at all, by any means.
Okay.
It's just another ship that's docked with the station. So yes, I will probably be doing that anyway, because there's more stuff that needs to be, or there will be more stuff that needs to be towed around the system. So I'll be undocking it at some point. But yes, it can be removed. It's not an integral part of the station in any way.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm aware I kind of galloped through everything that was going on there. But we've got a little bit of time now. If there's anything else you were not clear on or want to ask me.
What we're on to next then? I mean,
I haven't exactly worked out how we're going to do it yet, But,
that sounds useful.
but we're going to look at this. I mean, this is an intermediate step in getting a permanent installation on the moon.
It seems to be very slowly dropping at altitude.
It's in its orbit, and it's going around towards Periapsis at the moment. So
Okay.
once it reaches 59.83 or thereabouts, it'll start going back up.
Okay. Round and round.
Round and round the moon.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to put a permanent installation on the surface using the Modular Colonization Systems mod, which has a lot of bits in it that I need to work out.
Yeah.
How?
So we have a moon base alpha.
Yes. I need to work out how they work, how to deliver them to the moon,
Yeah.
and land them the right way up, and connect them together. And there's various different sort of. I mean, it's got stuff in it for connecting all of the bits of the base together, but it's about getting them in the right position is the most important thing, without leaving extraneous like rocket bits bolted onto them. So maybe be able to employ some sort of sky crane affair.
Yeah.
Possibly be able to bring them in a cargo ship of some sort and have a crane on wheels, now that we've unlocked the rover wheels.
Yep.
That just hoists them up and puts them the right way up on the surface. I haven't
Getting a moon buggy would be cool.
worked out yet, but yes, we should also put a rover up, because if you haven't got a rover, then you're not a real space program.
No.
Frankly,
If you can't, do donuts on the moon.
exactly.
What's
And
what's the point?
We've had those guys sitting in that prospector for ages now. They must be getting very bored. We need to give them something to go joyriding in.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do. I'm not sure exactly what order it'll get done in, but we'll look towards at least starting off getting a moon base built, and possibly giving them a lovely rover to drive around in and crash. So there.
Yeah. Groovy.
Yep. All right. Cool. If
I can't think of anything else
no
to say.
more queries at
It's
this
just
stage.
random blathering.
Well,
Which is what I normally do anyway, to be honest.
absolutely, yes.
Yeah, it's my my key skill in this entire affair.
It's the essential thing that you bring to our space program is random blathering. All right.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, we will wrap this up there and say, as per usual, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.